Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my review of Antlers. This is a long anticipated film for me. I saw that first trailer for this and I was blown away. Beautiful cinematography in the trailer from start to finish, fantastic settings, incredible scenery, just very, 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 very compelling. I was really hotly anticipating this, and sorely we had to wait and then wait and then wait some more. But it's finally been released and I watched it last night. I didn't get back home until like 20 to midnight, so I wasn't going to do a review then, so forgive me. But we're here now. Let's talk about this film. I really liked this film. I really liked it, actually. And I do feel like the trailers have done a good enough job at depicting the type of film you're going to be getting. Although I do think that maybe it leans on that horror element just a little bit too much in the trailers. And as a result of that, maybe some people will be a little bit disappointed if that's what they're going for, just an all-out horror film. Because it's not. And, you know, there is an exploration of abuse in this. There's an exploration of interpersonal, sort of relationships and, sort of deep-seated family trauma. Now, this is directed by Scott Cooper, who actually assisted on the screenplay, with Nick Antosca, who actually wrote the original short story that this is based on, The Quiet Boy, I believe it's called. And fantastic job getting the original writer on board to flesh out his own story. Well done. Well done. Too often are they sidelined, so well done there. And Scott Cooper actually directed a film which I really liked, which I don't think it was as sort of watched as it should have been, which is Black Mass with Johnny Depp. That is an incredible film. You want to watch something which shows a range, watch Antlers and then Black Mass. This director can do great things. Now, this has the producer of Guillermo del Toro. Yes, I'm probably butchering that. But Del Toro is obviously a recognisable name, and him lending his name to this gave it a lot of credibility, a lot of legitimacy, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people were interested in this, let alone obviously the good marketing, the good images. I mean, this imagery here is terrifying. It's terrifying. Well, I mean, I say terrifying, obviously as an adult you don't really get scared that much, but you know what I mean. So what's the story? So, ladies and gents, you've probably seen the trailers. The trailers do basically reveal the entire story, right? So I'm going to try and discuss it as non-spoilery as possible, but just remember I've watched the trailers, so if you don't want any spoilers, maybe skip ahead like 30 seconds. But the story is basically a small town dying in the mountains. Two sort of out of work. People are in the mines and they come across something, they awaken something, sort of. And then from there, it turns out it's obviously, this boy's father. And what is it? Well, I mean, antlers, you've heard it in the trailers. Wendigo. It's a Wendigo. Now, it's not the traditional sense of a Wendigo. Slight spoiler, I guess, but not really. Because they take the traditional sense of a Wendigo, being a man that had to feast on other humans, and with that drove himself insane, and from there an insatiable hunger caught him, and then he turned into this beast, right? They take that, and then they turn it into, that's the origin, but then it becomes this ever sort of seeding evil that creeps through hosts, because it's an evil spirit that can now infect hosts, I guess, is the sort of the point to that. So they take the original myth, legend, whatever, of the Wendigo, and then they turn it up to 11. They go, right, here it is. It goes mental from there. So from there, obviously, we've got a teacher that recognises abuse because she's gone through her own family trauma, and is trying to sort of kick back and hold back alcoholism. She was abused by her father, and quite horrendous things happened. And you get a sense of that, and you get a sense of this ownership that this teacher, this woman, longs to have over other people, because she wants to help. She wants to, sort of recover from her own trauma by assisting other people. There's nothing wrong in that. I think it was well depicted. I think it was actually really well done. The child actor, what is his name? Because he was just incredible. Jeremy T. Thomas. Now, when he filmed this, I think he would have been about 13 or 14, right? He's 15 now, so it's, you know, would have been filmed around 13, 14. He's amazing. He plays a 12-year-old boy that has a Wendigo locked up in his attic, basically, and he's really believable. I hate child actors. I think they're just garbage normally, but he's really believable. Genuinely a good actor. If this kid stops acting, this will be a travesty to the industry, because I think he'll go on to do some really good stuff in future. I hope he gets cast in more things, and I hope, yeah, this is someone to watch out for if he's got these acting chops this young. Yeah, and it's not just that, you know, it's the inflection behind words, it's the emoting when he says stuff, right? He's really, really good. We've got Kerry Russell as Julia Meadows, and we get Jesse Plemons, who I call Fat Damon, I guess, as a joke. But he's really good. He plays Paul Meadows, the sheriff. And from there, obviously, we see bodies, we see corpses, we see the Wendigo. And it's an exploration of abuse, trauma, such and such. So let's get down into the nitty-gritty of this movie, right? The cinematography is fantastic. They have a really good use of the rule of thirds. Everything is just beautifully framed, right? The framing is great. Some people ask me what the rule of thirds is. Just really simplistically, you literally segment the camera into thirds, and everything needs to be framed appropriately within that. You have your center focus, etc., and framing, basically. Very, very well done. Even moving pan shots, everything is lined up near perfectly. It's really, really great cinematography. The color grading is beautifully done. Really, really beautifully done. Color grading works just great. And you see it in the trailer as well. It's a sort of bleak tone, sort of grey wash over everything, but not like you can still see stuff. Yeah, it's not like just a grey wash. Everything is framed nicely and the colours come through appropriately. The practical effects in this have actually been some of the best I've seen maybe the last 10 years. Genuinely, probably the last 10 years. I have not seen practical effects this good for a really long time. There are some corpses you see in this movie that are so horrifyingly accurate. You genuinely think you were looking at a real corpse. 100%. They were just incredibly well done. Really, really well done. Very, 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 very accurate. The VFX, in conjunction with practical effects for the Wendigo itself and the antlers, really nicely done. Works great. In terms of how the characters interacted with this VFX creature, very believable, actually. Very, very believable. They did a really good job with that. And the lighting and the framing on that, I think, adds, you know, like a double layer to the believability. It worked very, very well. Now, the sound design of this creature, awesome. Awesome. Yes, like just great. You get a real sense that they created something very specific for this creature. Very, very specific. And it works very well. Very, very, very well. So look, suffice to say, I really enjoyed this film. I really enjoyed this film. It's not preachy in any way, shape or form. You know, there is an element of we ravaged our lands. Just at the start, we ravage our lands, therefore, you know, evil spirits rise, that sort of thing, right? But it's not preachy. Don't worry, it's not turning into, you know, oh, we need to go save our planet and things like that. It's none of that. I know some people don't like that in their films, so it's none of that at all. And you just get a sense that, because by the end of this film, it's essentially that there's an evil inside us, which makes us susceptible to this Wendigo spirit, right? And by the end of the film, you really do start to get a sense that the evil inside us is just in everyone, and that this spirit is just going to take advantage of everyone through many different means, through many different reasonings. That it's just this vengeful spirit that just can't possibly be satiated. It was fantastic. It's such a well done film. Is it scary? Not really, but again, I don't think horror films are that scary anymore. There's some genuine jump scare moments. There's some genuine like, oof, wow, what fuck moments. And I just think it's a great exploration of abuse and trauma, psychological, both physical. Very, very well done. Really good film. Strong recommendation from me. Sound was great, the score was great, acting was great. All round, I really enjoyed this film. Now, I think categorically, to some, it won't live up to the hype. It won't. I think some people have built this up to be an insane horror movie that's going to, you're going to shit your pants to. It's not that. It's not that. But I like the fact that it's deeper. And I like the fact that it's a relative slow burn, by the way. But not relatively, but sort of. They do get to it pretty much straight away, but then we start to explore the child a little bit. And I think some people will be put off by that, but I think it was really well done. Strong recommendation from me. Let me know what you think if you have seen it. I'd love to hear any and all thoughts. Drop them down below. Thank you so much. Take care.